I'm going to make a case to you today why I believe gas prices in the next 24 months could potentially go to $10 per gallon. And yes, that's what I believe. $10 per gallon next 24 months based on a lot of different factors. If you agree with my argument once I make it, smash the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, put a thumbs down. I'm okay. I want to kind of see how you feel about this. By the way, we're going to
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to WideBody Nation. Is gas going to be $10 in the next 24 months? I think there's a chance. So we're going to get into that in this video. Just like he said, if you agree that it's possible, hit the like button. If you disagree, tell me why in the comments below. While you're down there, please do let me know if the audio quality and the visual quality here is more like a Joe Biden speech, like not very good, or if it's like a V8, a twin turbo V8 just screaming down the drag strip and it sounds amazing, because I am trying to tweak the setup here. So any comments are appreciated on the audio and visual quality. That being said, we're going to go ahead and let Patrick Bet David of Valuetainment do most of the talking for the duration of his video. We're going to jump in a few times, and then we're going to give the more car buying and enthusiast perspective at the end of the video, because it could get really severe for us as car enthusiasts and as car buyers of these cool cars that we like. So with that being said, let's jump right into it here.
We're going to look at the following data in today's video. Number one, we're going to look at which country gas prices are the most expensive as well as cheap. We're going to look at which countries have the most EV, electric vehicles being driven, and is there a correlation between countries that are fully going green and high gas prices because they're trying to influence people from not driving gasoline-powered cars. We'll look at gas prices the most in cities, states, and we'll look at consumption. We'll look at many different data, as well as auto manufacturers. Are they going away from gasoline powered cars? So having said that, let's get right into it. So here's what we're looking at. Number one, Biden administration makes the move to go electric vehicles. That's the direction they're going to. That's what they.
Quick point. Remember, in this conversation, there are three parties involved. There's the consumer, there are the manufacturers, and then there's government. Ideally, we would like to have everybody on the same page, right? But usually that's not realistic. What I worry about is 2 versus 1 scenario, where basically the government and then manufacturers are teaming up to basically force us as consumers to purchase the vehicles they want us to purchase. So there's multiple different ways they can do that to us as consumers, as enthusiasts, as normal people just trying to go to work and have a family and do normal people things. So he's about to get into those. Let's see.
They want people to do. And remember that he has control by creating additional taxes to influence you to get away from gasoline powered vehicles. So now that's the administration. Now you have to realize that auto manufacturers make decisions based on having lobbyists that are working with the government, whispering to them, you better get away from oil, gasoline powered cars, because eventually we may ban it. Could that really happen? Now let's take a look. I don't want to speculate. Let's take a look. So here's what we're looking at. All the promises automakers have made about electric cars. So GM releases their new 2022 Chevrolet Bolt, is what you're looking at here, February 14, 2021. Jaguar's talking about that's the direction they're going to go in 2022. Mercedes is coming out with their EQS by the end of the year in 2022. Ford intends to start production of F-150 Lightning. Nissan, 8 EVs by the end of the year in 2025. Audi plans on having 30 electrified vehicles sales by 2025. Ford says it's investing $29 billion into it. This continues. Hyundai, Toyota plans to launch 60 new hybrid cars, is what they're talking about. Volkswagen is talking about 1.5.
Quick pause right there, Toyota. 60 new hybrid or 60 new electric cars. That's the Chevy approach. You guys know how Chevy has a bunch of different hybrids and a bunch of different vehicles they've tried to make electric. I think these automakers are doing too much to too many different cars, whereas they just need to figure it, like Tesla, for instance. Tesla has done one car at a time and then use that success to go to other cars.
1.5 million. Volkswagen can go on and on and on. So why are they going in that direction? Watch this one here. By 2030, A UK ban on the sale of diesel and gas-powered cars is expected to go into effect. Let me read this to you one more time. By 2030, a UK ban on the sale of diesel and gas-powered cars. So imagine I make cars, they're diesel and gas-powered, and I want to sell it in UK. It's a waste of time to produce it because it's going to be banned because nobody can sell it. So the government is controlling what manufacturers are going to make with their cars. Huh.
Quick note there, just because they ban the sale of those gas and diesel powered cars doesn't mean they're necessarily banning the cars in general. Like, it's not, if you have a gas powered car in 2031 in the UK, they're not going to arrest you necessarily. But as we're going to get into with gas prices and other incentives, pain, pleasure, there's different ways they can do it. Taxes, obviously. There are certain ways they can make it basically economically impossible for you to purchase or own a gas-powered car.
Mitsubishi is planning on having 50% of its sales being from electric or hybrid cars, right? Volkswagen is targeting 60% of the European market. This, I can go on and on and on talking about what these guys are going to be doing, right? You can read this article. I'll put the link below. Now let's take a look at the most expensive and cheapest gas prices worldwide. If you're taking a look at this here, here's as of yesterday, as recent as yesterday. Cheapest gas right now, if you want to buy per gallon, it's in Venezuela. You know how much it is? 7 cents. Yes, 7 cents. You know what country in the world has the most oil? It's Venezuela. Not Saudi Arabia, not Iran. It's Venezuela. Look at Iran, 23 cents. Look at Kuwait, $1.30. Nigeria, $1.54. Iraq, $1.94. You go down, Qatar, $2.07. We go to Azerbaijan, $2.27. Colombia, $2.28. Saudi Arabia, $2.32. Dubai, $2.42. Russia, $2.54. Let's see where U.S. is at. Turkey is $3.48. U.S. $3.47. Now let's go to the bottom. Let's go all the way to the bottom. Most expensive. You ready? Hong Kong, $9.67
That's
a
nuts.
gallon. Lebanon, $8.70. Netherlands, $8.70. Norway, $7.98. Denmark, $7.59 a gallon is what we're talking about. Israel, $7.56. Portugal, $7.50. Greece, Finland, Sweden, they're all over $7. Italy, France, UK. Everybody I said outside of UK is over $7. UK is $6.95. Now, these are gasoline, price per gallon gas in these countries, right? Now let's look at the top 10 greenest countries in the world. Greenest countries in the world. If you can see this data, let me make it a little larger for you. Number 1, Denmark has the highest score of 82.5. Huh. Let's see where Denmark scores on the highest gas prices. Do you notice a correlation there? It's interesting. Go green, don't buy gas because we're going to raise taxes, so you don't buy it. It's going to be expensive if you want to buy it from us. Do you think that'll motivate? If gas prices were $7.59 right now and you're living in Toledo, you're living in Miami, Chicago, LA, would you maybe be inspired to go buy an EV vehicle fairly quickly? Would you? You don't think this may be something they're talking about and seeing it in the administration? We got to
All right, so in this next couple minutes of the video, he establishes a relatively strong correlation. It's not a 1.0 correlation, but it is a pretty strong correlation. Basically, all the greenest countries in the world are, they've got gas $6, $7, $8, $9 a gallon. So I'm not saying that just because they are green, that our gas prices are going to go up, but depending on who maintains power in government, in the United States government, over the next, I would say, 10 years, we pretty much know who's going to be in power for the next 1.5 years. Now, if Congress flips, then I would say there's almost no chance of gas going to $10. However, if the White House, the White House and Congress all stay blue, all stay climate change oriented, all stay of that ilk, then I would say that there is a shed of a chance that we could be at $10 a gallon this time 2 years from now. I do not want that, But I do think $5 is coming very, very soon. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I'm going to let him keep talking. And then I have a very, very important piece of information for you guys that I am currently doing. I am working towards a specific strategy to insulate myself from the next gas crisis.
Get away from to buy these other cars. Let's continue. That's just one country. Maybe I'm just speculating. Luxembourg, the second largest country in the world when it talks about going green. Where are they at on this ranking? Are they cheap? Nope, $6. Okay, maybe that's just two of them. How about Switzerland, UK? You already know where UK is at, $6.95. Switzerland, $6.57. France, Austria. Let's look at France and Austria. Here's France, $7. Austria, it's a little cheaper for you, $5.76. Do you want me to continue? Do you kind of, by the way, you do this with every one of them, Norway, Germany, Sweden, Finland. They're all on the same list. Are they trying to drive people away from that? Now, if we look at gas prices history-wise, here's what you're looking at, how much gas prices were. I was in the Army in 1999 when gas prices were 98 cents a gallon, 96 cents a gallon, 98 cents a gallon, cheaper than what it was in 1993. And in gas prices, if you remember, it peaked around $4 in 2008, $4.14, and got a little bit higher in the threes, and then came back down from 2016. It was $1.87, it was $1.98, $1.93. No one's really been too stressed out about gas prices. Today, if you look at gas prices, Memorial Day weekend 2021, about a month and a half ago, who are the states with the highest gas prices? Pennsylvania, $3.15. Then you got Idaho, Illinois, Alaska, Utah, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Hawaii. Anybody surprised that California is $4.16? By the way, is it $4.16 because that's the price of gas? Or is it $4.16 because the state of California added a gas tax to it? So where am I going with this? Here's where I'm going with this. Countries with oil consumption. U.S. is the highest, more than anybody else. Then it's China, then it's India.
All right, so one of the articles he just pulled up was about Memorial Day weekend, which was pretty close to when the whole Colonial Pipeline situation happened. There was the massive gas shortage in the southeast on the East Coast where I currently live. I currently live about 90 minutes from Atlanta. There were stations around here that had no gas, multiple days, for about a week. It was on and off. It was hit or miss. You would have to go to 3, 4, 5 stations. My friends in North Carolina, my friends in Tennessee, all over the place were definitely hit or miss on gas. Now, something I noticed during that gas crisis, I was very often able to get premium. A lot of stations would be out of regular. They would not usually run out of premium as fast, at least in my experience, in my opinion. So, just because my wife's RAV4 takes 87, I could fill it up with 93, no problem. So I filled up all the gas cans, the gas tanks I have with 93 so that I could put it in the Vet, I could put it in the Subaru, I could put it in whatever I wanted, no matter what. So think about that next time. Next, was diesel affected? At the time, I did not have a diesel. I'm sure diesel was hit or miss as well. However, having that option is another thing you can put in at least one of your vehicles if you have a diesel burning vehicle. We'll get to that in a second, or we'll expound upon that. E85, ethanol. If your vehicle can burn 87, 93, or E85, that's even better because then you could just go to a gas station that has all three, and the chances of them having at least one of those is much higher than just having 87 or just having 93. So, currently, the only fuel that a vehicle in my fleet does not run on is electric. I do not have any electric vehicles. I do not have any hybrid vehicles. I have a diesel truck. I have a Subaru that runs on 93 and E85. I have a Corvette that currently runs on 93, but soon will run on 93 and E85. And I have my wife's car, the RAV4, that runs on 87 normal gas, which you can obviously put up to 93 in as well. So I can burn 93, I can burn 87, I can burn E85, I can burn diesel. The only thing I'm missing is electric. So the next car I buy should be an electric car. Doesn't have to be the best electric car, doesn't have to be some crazy Hummer EV, although it might be, but I would like to have a car that runs on electricity because that would give me the all 5 fuels, mainstream fuels for my vehicles. So with that being said, let's jump back into his video, and then we'll kind of give you guys the car buying, car enthusiast take on the back end.
India, these guys have 5 times the amount of population as we do. We consume more gas than they do. Matter of fact, world consumption of gas, oil is United States 20%. We have 330 million people, 340 million people, 8 billion people in the world, of which 20% of all the oil is going through US. And in 2019, we became the first time where we're energy independent since 1957. We're using less oil than we're actually producing. We're independent of that, right? So we're kind of going that direction. This was good news that came out. But let me continue with my idea here with gas prices.
Quick side note. To my knowledge, we are no longer energy independent. The last administration, that was a high priority. This administration, the priority has been green fuels. So I believe that when they shut down that northern pipeline, they went ahead and made us technically not energy independent anymore. I'm pretty sure, to my knowledge, that we are no longer energy independent by that definition that he talked about.
Why do I think gas prices are going to go up? Think about it this way. Current administration wants to push you to go buy EV. Whether you agree with that or not, it's go green, it's climate change, it's save the planet, it's, we have to drive electrical vehicles. Manufacturers are responding to that. So if you were on their campaign, if you were on their administration, how would you suggest doing this? There's really 2 ways of doing it. One is pain, one is pleasure. Pleasure is what? If you go get an EV vehicle, we're going to give you $10,000 write-off if you buy a brand new car, Okay, so it's pleasure. I'm going to get a write-off. I'm going to get tax benefits. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. Or they can do the other way, which historically many politicians have used, which is what? It's called pain. And how do you do it with pain? It's called sin taxes. What are sin taxes? Sin taxes we have on sugar, on cigarettes, on alcohol, on soft drinks, on casinos, on porn, literally porn. I can go on and on and on and tell you all these different sin taxes. What if the administration sat there and they said, you know what? How soon do we want everybody to go to EV? What if somebody like an AOC makes the phone call and says, hey, if you really think this is that big of a deal, why don't you put a $3 tax, a $4 tax, a $5 tax on anybody that goes and buys gas cars? Now, they can't do it suddenly, because if they did, there'd be a strike and it'd be the ugliest thing they could do. But could they gradually turn the knob to create the kind of pressure for you where at the dinner, you're sitting there with the family, you're talking and saying, babe, I don't know if you heard what just happened right now. What's that? I think it's time we go buy that Tesla. I think we go buy that EV. I think we go buy that electrical vehicle. So what does this mean long term? If you thought the stocks of these electrical vehicle companies are going to go up, whoever's got the biggest market share, take a Tesla. If you think they were maybe going to go up, the direction politics is going and the direction how they can influence that based on what many European countries are doing to control people.
Speaking of stocks, make sure you guys hit that link down below in the pinned comment and the description. 2 to 4 free stocks with Webull when you open your account and deposit your first $100 for trading. It's a good value. I use Webull primarily for stock trading. It's the best compared to Robinhood, especially because Robinhood screwed us all over during the beginning of 2021. We'll do another video on that, but just a quick plug.
People from not driving oil and gasoline powered vehicles, we may be going in that direction. Could it happen in the next 2 years at $10? I don't know. But all I can say to you is what we're currently looking at, if the administration really wanted to push all of us to go in that direction, they could probably do it in many different ways, pain or pleasure. You may agree with this, you may not agree with this. Again, if you do agree with this, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, put your thumbs down. But if you want to find out a little bit more on topics like this, I did a video.
All right, guys, so that's basically the end of his video. He did a great job explaining most of it. I just wanted to add the little tips and tricks. Can your fleet, can the vehicles you have in your driveway run on more fuels rather than less? If everything in your driveway only burns 87, maybe consider the next car you get being a diesel or being something that can run on E85 flex fuel or that can run on electricity. So Is gas going to hit $10 in the next 24 months, the next 2 years, this time in 2 years? I'd say it is unlikely. Will gas prices be higher? Probably. I'd say $5 is easily in the question. That would only be about a 30 to 40% increase, because right now we're at about around 340, as he pointed out in his video, as a national average, right? And California kind of screws that up for us. But anyway, as far as car enthusiasts and car buying goes, could kind of go either way. If they ban the sale of gas burning, diesel burning vehicles by 2030, 2040, 2050, that is one issue, but you could still buy a used car, right? However, what is the price of gas or whatever those cars run on going to be when you're trying to buy that car? Because if it's $10 a gallon in 2030, when you're trying to buy a used Hellcat or a used Scat Pack, how are you going to afford to run that vehicle other than maybe taking it to the racetrack? I mean, $10 a gallon, that's like race gas prices right now. That's crazy. So could you have a race car if it was $10, $20 a gallon? Yeah, you could. You could use that as like your fun, drive it once a week, drive it once a month car, but that, I don't think that could be your daily anymore, just because driving to and from work would cost you hundreds of dollars potentially, which is just bananas. As far as values go, I don't know if I would necessarily change my buying behavior yet. I would use the next 2-ish years and the next elections that are in 2022 and 2024. I would watch who wins those, because that's going to give you an idea of how long of a time we have of lower gas prices and of other factors that are going to impact whether or not you can afford to operate your fire-breathing V8, V10, V12, big turbo, 4-cylinder, import, domestic. It's going to become more expensive, as it always has, to become or to be a car enthusiast. I mean, EVs are still expensive. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about $10 as a price of gas, whether that's in 10 days, 2 years, 10 years from now. I don't think the market can support that high of a gas price hike. Like I said, I think it'll be maybe $5 in the next 2 years. I think that would be something that the market could support. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out the links below for those, those free stocks and for our merchandise. Our very polarizing merch. So if you want to see why our merch is so polarizing, I'm wearing it right now. I'm not even going to show it to you. Check the link below. Appreciate you tuning in. I will see you for the next video.